There are no rules in business as long as it's moral, legal, and ethical. A lot of time entrepreneurs, they self-impose these rules that they have. Oh, it's not typical. It's not what people do in our industry. It's not industry norm. And usually, if you follow what everybody else does in the industry, what do you get? Similar results, which most of the time is what? Crappy. It's crappy. So by part of success is just look at what everyone else is doing just within your industry. And if everybody kind of does a lot of prospecting, don't do prospecting. If they hand out business card, don't hand out business card. It's very, very simple. Look at what everybody else is, and then you do the what? Opposite. So let me share with you what I consider the 7 most dangerous words in the English language. How many? 7. How many? 7. The first 3 is, I know that. I know that. I heard that before. It's like people talk about losing weight. They say, I want to get fit, I want to lose weight. Everybody knows what to do. Eat less, move more. It's not rocket science, but somehow, how many different types of diets are out there? And there's a new diet coming out every week. Some new thing, a new product, a new offer. No, it's very simple. It's move more, eat less. Oh, but I know that already. I don't want to do that. I like to buy the latest thing on TV, right? That's the thing. So how do you know when you know something? If you live it. If you live it, then you know it. If you don't live it, then you don't know it. So first 3, I know that. The other 4 words is my business is different. Or my clientele is different. My business is different. As what I'm sharing with you, as I'm sharing strategies with you today, your mind would go, oh, but my business is different, Dan. Watch out. If you hear a little voice saying my business is different, what I say is any moron can quickly come up with lots of reasons to invalidate ideas. And most do. But there's genius and profit only in coming up with ways to apply ideas. It's so easy to say, my business is different, this doesn't apply to me, your brain gets shut, and that's it. There's no creativity. Instead of, that's interesting. Never heard of that before. I wonder how would that work for me. I wonder how I could apply that. Oh, maybe I can do it this way. Maybe I could do it that way. So a more powerful question to ask yourself, before getting that, for those of you who know me, I'm a fan of Bruce Lee. I'm a huge fan of Bruce Lee. And not just as a martial artist, but as a philosopher. One thing that Bruce talks about is emptiness is the starting point. It's what? In order to taste my cup of water, you must first empty your cup. My friend, drop all your preconceived and fixed ideas and be neutral. Be what? Neutral. Do you know why this cup is useful? Because it's empty. Because it's empty. The more I learn, the more workshops I go to, the more I seek mentorship from other people, other experts, the more that I feel like I don't know. As I read more books, I just found out I actually don't know shit. There's so much more to know. Whatever that I know, the knowledge, the skills that I have, my capabilities, got me to this point, but if I want to get to that next level, so from 8-figure, I want to go to that 9-figure level, I need to learn some new ideas, yes? Some new strategies. So my fixed ideas got me to this point, but I need to let go of that if I go to the next level. Does that make sense? Yeah. So a more powerful question to ask yourself is, how can I implement that idea into my business with a new twist to make it my own? Repeat after me. How can I implement that idea into my business with a new twist to make it my own. Amateurs copy, professionals steal. Amateurs copy, professionals steal. Swipe other people's ideas. I don't have an original idea in my whole fucking life. When you go to the bank, when you talk to the teller, when you deposit the money, the teller's not going to ask you, did you make this money with your original idea? Did you come up with this on your own? No, just deposit the money. People don't care. So I'm much more of a synthesizer. I borrow best practices from different industries, just apply on my own. I'm a very big believer in shortcuts because other people have done it. Don't reinvent the wheel, because pioneers usually are lying on the ground with the face down with arrows on the back. I go into what I consider like an immersion information mode. If I go into a new industry, I'm making a new offer, I am a phenomenal, dedicated student. I just go into it and immerse myself into it. I go to the trade show, I talk to people, I talk to clients, I study the catalogs, I study the trade magazine, I study the newsletters, I go through all the blogs in a very short period of time. In a few months, I've learned so much. And it's funny, sometimes I would go to a trade show outside the industry and I would talk with them and they would feel like, oh, you're one of us. When I'm not one of them, but they would feel like, you're one of us. Because I can speak the language, I can speak the words, and they feel like, oh, you're one of us, but I'm not. The other day I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who've known me for, I think, 8-9 years now. And we're just chatting, and we're having a cup of tea. And he said, you know, Dan, what exactly do you do? I said, what the hell do you mean? What do I do? You've known me for 9 years, buddy. What do you mean, what do I do? Yeah, but I still don't know what you do. Like, you do so many things. Like, you know, you write books, you do speaking gig, you know, you have 21 companies, you have in your e-commerce, you have properties in Hong Kong and Taiwan, I know you invest in tech companies and you do mentoring, you do so many freaking things, and like, what do you do? I said, that's an interesting reply coming from a friend. And I said, well, you are right, I am doing a lot of different things, and said, well, also, and then what was going on, and well, besides that, I also do these other things, do you know? And they said, oh, I didn't even know that. Now I'm even more confused. And I said, and that sparked an interesting thought in my mind. Yeah, exactly what do I do? And I think about it. I think, you know what? I think I have what must be the greatest job in the world. I have what I think is the greatest job in the world. Because truly, I work when I want, where I want, with whom I want, doing only what I want to do. Now, I do have friends who make more money, who are richer, wealthier in terms of finance. They may be running $100 million company, $1 billion company. But the funny thing is, what I notice is I have more control over my life and my time than they do. Here's the difference. How do you know when you are in control of your life? And that's the difference. If you have a lot of have to versus want to. If you have a lot of have tos in your life, then you're not very much in control. Meaning, oh, I have to go do that deal. I have to meet with that client at that certain time. Or I have to make that money. I have to meet the obligations. A lot of have to. People, I have to get to work. I have to do this. Versus, I do it because I want to do it. Does that make sense? Have to versus want to. And it's like, yeah, you know what? I have a whole lot of want to, very, very little have to in my life. And it gives me a sense of gratitude. It's like, wow, you know what? I've been operating this way for quite some time now that I feel almost like just this morning coming through here, the traffic was just brutal. And I haven't sat in traffic for such a long time. And it felt kind of weird, like, oh, this is what it feels like to stuck in traffic. Like people go to work in the morning, because I haven't done this in so many years. I didn't know how long it would take to get here, actually. It's way, way longer than I thought. So I thought, that's interesting, interesting. So then also I get to pursue my passion project with my podcast. How many have listened to my podcast, by the way? Great. Shoulders of Titans, where every single week I interview a successful entrepreneur. It could be a multi-million entrepreneur or billionaire founder. And every single week I get to talk with them and ask them questions and have a conversation with them for an hour, every single week. That's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome. I don't get paid doing it. In fact, I would be more than happy to pay to do it. But it's a passion project. It's something I want to do. I want to do. And it's like looking now how I operate, I pretty much envision if I'm 65 and I'm retired, I would probably do similar things as what I'm doing now. I don't think that would be that big of a difference. One of my mentees asked me the other day, he said, Dan, what would you do if you have 100 times more money? 100 times more money than what I have now. And I thought about it. I said, it would be about the same. It would be about the same. Maybe I'm involved, maybe donate more to charities and involved with bigger projects, but I would imagine about the same. I wouldn't change a whole lot of my lifestyle. I'm pretty happy with what I have. And why I'm sharing this with you is not to impress you, but to impress upon you that you got to create that from the beginning. You got to design it. It doesn't just happen. Because right from the beginning, in my early 20s, I was very, very clear what I want my lifestyle to be and how I want to structure my business that gives me that. That gives me that. Versus, last thing you want as an entrepreneur is you build something, you spend years, even decades building something. At the end of the day, then you hate it. And it doesn't fit your lifestyle. And it's not what you want. Just like when I was traveling a lot as a speaker a number of years ago, and I thought that's what I wanted, because I was traveling so much. I was flying to a new city every couple of weeks until one day I get up in the hotel and I had no idea what city I was in. I had no idea what time I was in. I said, this has got to stop. That's not the life that I want. I love teaching. Fucking hate the traveling part. Hate it. Because every time you travel, it's not just, on a stage you might do a 90-minute talk, but the traveling, getting in a hotel, that takes days. And sometimes the time zone difference, it takes you a couple of days to recover. Your whole week is gone. Does that make sense? So it's like, I thought that's what I wanted, but actually that's not what I wanted. What I want is just the teaching aspect. Don't like the traveling aspect. Just the teaching aspect. So, and then I spend my spare time mentoring other entrepreneurs, and that fulfills me on the emotional side. So there are different types of wealth. There are financial wealth. What kind of wealth? Physical wealth. What kind of wealth? Physical. Spiritual. Emotional. So there are different types of wealth, not just financial wise. So as we are creating your ultimate lifestyle, I want you to consider that. Not just how much money you want to make, but what kind of lifestyle that you want to have. So step one, let's work on that. Let's build your business around your lifestyle. Put in your hand if you are absolutely crystal clear about what kind of lifestyle you want. Okay? Put in your hand if you I have some ideas, but I'm not 100% clear. Nice, okay. Very, very nice. By the end of this exercise, you'll be crystal clear. So let's work on that. First, now don't put in the step one box here. I want to turn the sheet over and just brainstorm together. Let's work on this together a little bit. Please repeat after me. It's not how much money you make. It's how you make the money. I'll say it again. It's not how much money you make. It's how you make the money. What's the difference? What's the difference? What's the difference? Lifestyle, yes. Quality versus quantity. Very nice. Very nice. So you could be making, let's say someone making 100 grand, but spending like 60 hours working, no family, no life, versus someone making same 100 grand, but only works 3 days a week, also spend a lot of quality time with family and be able to travel. Is there a difference? Yes? Same 100 grand, but different in lifestyle, yes? So let's get very clear. So let's work on that. They say the most the three most important decisions in life is what you do, where you do it, and with whom you do it with. What you do, where you do it, with whom you do it with. I would also add that it's also when. When you have to do it. What you do, where you do it, with whom you do it, also when. So what, where, whom, and when. So I believe to have a great career, a business career, you must choose work that gives you satisfaction and also build a working environment that you enjoy, and you're working with people that you enjoy. So this workshop is about taking your business to the next level, but it's also about personal power and satisfaction. We're going to talk a lot about power today, about changing the way you work so you can become increasingly in charge of the 4 W's of career satisfaction. Okay? Most people spend their lives living the way other people wanted them to live. False or true? At a young age, who do we listen to? Our parents. They dictate, here's where you go, here's what you do, here's when you go out, here's what subject you should study. And then after you grew up, and then what? You go to work, and then the boss tells you, you do this, when you get to work, when you take vacation, when you get off work, and when you start your own business, then what happens next? Clients dictate your work schedule. So a lot of have-tos, not want-tos. So most of us spend our lives living the way that other people want them to live. So let's do the assignment first. So open your sheet, so turn that over. Okay? And this is thinking time. And I'm going to ask you some questions. I'm going to ask you what? As you listen to these questions, I want you to write down the answer as you're thinking on your own as well. Okay? What time do I like to get up in the morning? What time I like to go to bed? And at what hour do I want to begin working? When am I most productive? Play some music. And when is my energy highest? When is my energy highest? What time do I like to get up in the morning? What time do I like to go to bed? At what hour do I begin to work? When am I most productive? When is my energy highest? And what do I want to spend the majority of my time doing? And here are some possible answers. Maybe to write. Maybe there's a book that you've been wanting to write for a long time. To share your work with the world. Maybe you like programming. You like building websites and engage in technical work. Is that what you want to spend the majority of your time doing? Maybe it's to plan. Maybe it's to design graphics. Maybe it's to brainstorm and conceptualize products. Maybe you're very creative. You want to just create. Maybe you want to do something with your hands. Sculpture. Maybe you want to make movies. You want to make music, play music. You want to teach, you want to mentor others. Maybe you want to speak. So how do you want to spend the majority of your time? That gives you the most satisfaction. And be as detailed as possible. Be as detailed as possible. And for some of you, this may be the first time you actually take the time to think it through. Why are we even doing this? Why are we building a business? For what? For what purpose? What are we trying to accomplish? Because business is a mean to an end, it's a vehicle. What about your environment? Do I want to work at home or do I want to go out to an office? How much time do I want to spend inside and how much time do I want to spend outside in the world? What type of physical surroundings do I desire? Do I want a window out into nature? What type of view do I desire in your office? Don't focus on taking notes, focus on you. It's not about jotting down the notes. I could send it to you, no problem. And what physical activity do I want to incorporate into my day? Maybe you want to do a little bit of exercise before you go to work. I like to do yoga before I start in the morning. Whatever works for you. And how much time do you want to spend with other people? And how much time you want to spend alone? Do you like working with people all the time? You prefer, you know what, I just prefer to work on my own. Spend some alone time, some me time for myself. That you're the most productive when you're working on your own. And do you want to work alone or with a partner or associate? And if you like to work with a partner, what kind of partners do you want to work with? I used to like to work alone, but now I do everything with a partner. Do I want to manage other people? Do I want to have a lot of employees, or do I prefer, no, I don't want a whole lot of employees. I prefer to work with independent contractors, running more like a virtual business. And just let your mind flow. Whatever ideas come to you, don't judge, just write it down. How much time do you want to spend with your families and friends? Or for some of you, maybe how much less time you want to spend with your family and friends? It's too much right now. And what hobbies do you want to do? What hobbies do you want to do? Is it something adventurous? Maybe golf? Do you want to travel? If so, how much? Do you want to travel once every 6 months? Or 3 times a year? Do you like to go to tropical places? Or do you want to go to Europe, maybe Asia? And how long you want to stay there? So do you want to travel? How much? Do you want to engage in continuing education? What type? Do you want to go to workshops? Do you like to go to certain events, certain shows? Continuing educate yourself? How often do you want to go to those events? Is it once every 3 months or a few times a year? What are some of your must? Something that you want, you must have. And what are some of the things that you don't want to tolerate? That you absolutely, you know you don't want it. For me, it's commute to work. For you, maybe it's something else. Let me give you 2 more minutes. Think deep. Think very deep. When you look at this list, you should be so excited. It should inspire you. Not what people want, not people sold you the idea of what you should want, is what you want. Even though it's silly. Shit, I have a Batman costume. Doesn't get any more silly than that. But I like it. Whatever turns you on. Whatever makes you tick. Okay, 1 minute. Then what I want you to do is I want you to flip the poster over. And in step 1, I want you to write down your top 5. Top 5 you absolutely must have. You want those things. Top 5. Maybe you have 20 things on your list, but the top 5 that will inspire you. Put that in the first box, step 1. Just top 5. By the way, let me give you a quick tip. Although the poster is big, don't write in such big fonts. We're only at step 1. So if your step 1 occupies this much space, we've got some problems here. Of course, you can always use your notebook, but just know, we have a lot to cover today. This is just top 5. 30 seconds. Okay, stop. Take a deep breath. Let out. How does that feel when you have such clarity? How many of you, describe the emotions you're experiencing? How many of you feel inspired? Interesting. How many feel upset? People only change for 2 reasons. Either inspiration or desperation. So either way is fine. You look at the list, you're like, you know what, I'm so inspired, this is where I want to be. If that gets to take action, do it. If you look at this list and it's like, I've got none of these at this point. This sucks. I got to do something about it. That also works. Inspiration or desperation. Important thing is knowing what is your list. What is your list? So on my list, I've got a few things. Number 1 is no commute to work. I want to work from home. So I've turned down many opportunities where bigger opportunities, it would require me to go to an office or go to China or to travel a lot or to have a massive organization with a ton of employees, I turn every single one of them down. It could be worth a lot of money. There's no hesitation because I've got what? My list. Commute to work? Nah. I don't care how big a check you write, ain't happening. Just ain't happening. Wow, what about just a couple days? Ain't happening. That's it. I'm very, very clear. That's my terms of doing business. That's my terms of doing business. And that's why I built, some of you know I moved to my new home, which my new home, it's really a grown-up version of Boy's Treehouse. That's what it is. I mean, I have my office there. I have a library there where I study and read because I like to read. I write in the library. I have a personal gym with full-length mirror, with a sauna, with treadmill and exercise equipment, things like that, so I can work out there. I have a toy room, not the kind of toys you're thinking. No, because I collect Batman and Iron Man, like these figures. Guys, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So those action figures, I've got like a whole bunch of these things. So I have a glass display shelf and things like that. So truly, but that's just for me, right? May not be for you, but that's what works for me because I spend a lot of time at home. So that's one of my must-have working from home. The second thing I have is what I call no asshole policy. That I don't want to have anyone that I have to tolerate in my life. And my mentees know, some of my inner circle members, they've seen me fire clients and mentees more than once. Yes? No hesitation. If I feel like it gives me an icky feeling, bam, they're gone. Like that. Because I don't want to tolerate. That's the second thing on my list. Like if I feel a little bit icky feeling, no, I don't want that in my life. So that's the second thing I have on my list. Third thing I have on my list is I want to be able to do different things all the time. So not just one thing. Not just one thing. So instead of just building one big company, I much prefer to work with different industry and different businesses. That's just my personality because it gives me new challenges and forces me to be, curious, to keep learning all the time. Does that make sense? Now, but again, that's just what works for me. That's what it is, right? Say with Wendy, right? I know you. Wendy, by the way, has real estate investment business. But she also writes songs on the side for like celebrities in Hong Kong. Like that's two very different things, right? Very different things. But you could combine those. Absolutely. Why not? So your business can give you the luxury to pursue some of the hobbies. So, by the way, let me share something personal with you. Why do I collect like these collectibles and toys and stuff like that? At first, I don't even know why. I just like, that's cool, I would buy that. Like, gentlemen, have you ever had the experience? You see something cool, it's like, and then it's like you go home, your wife is like, that's completely useless. What do you need that for? It's cool, right? Whatever it is, anyway. And I thought, you know what, why I'm so attracted to like toys and things like that. I thought it's because because I started my first business when I was in high school. So throughout that period of time, I was just working. So I feel like now looking back, I know what's going on. A lot of my childhood, I didn't experience what most people experience. So I didn't have a whole lot of toys. I was just working early on. So now when I have the power and the ability that I could afford these things, now I kind of want to relive those times, if that makes sense. And that's why I buy some of these things, and whatever is going on in my mind, that's my logic, I think. My wife would say that's an excuse. But whatever, that's my logic, okay?